I'm Matteo Stocco. I'm doing okay right now. I'm just playing with this fish that makes sounds with water. I love it. Apparently, I'm a citizen of Venice, even though I was born in a countryside outside Venice. I'm working as a video maker here, and I have a little company with a friend of mine who's Matteo Primiterra, and the company is named Kinonauts. This was a present for my 40 years birthday from Matteo Primiterra. You see it, comes and goes. I'm living a kind of crisis with Venice, where all that I was projecting into the city, will, dreams, desire, also kind of conceptual, intellectual, let's say, projection and fight on the system, so to say, is kind of a crashing with reality. It seems that everything that me and the group of person I work with, I feel like everything we're doing is not going anywhere right now. I feel like it's constructing a kind of bubble, which is nice when you are in, but it's not going anywhere else. The system is not spreading outside unless it is taking energy from outside to growing inside. Self-redundant system where it's just replicating itself when it comes of, for instance, art and ecology, art and activism. Everything is about Venice itself, Venice and the lagoon, Venice and the ecosystem, which is good, which is totally good, but it's not going anywhere else. Somehow it becomes something that is just a loop. But I feel like that the problem of Venice is also reflecting the problem of every contemporary cities that are deal with a peculiar environment around them, absorbing what is going on around the world from the contemporary art, broadly also with the cultural world. Maybe the bubble, the sphere, the idea of a sphere is more understandable. And each city has its own sphere, which is connected to the other city, but not with what stays in between the two cities. For instance, for the Venetian, the inland is what we call the still ground, terra firma. Everything that stands outside the island of Venice always has this stigma of being something that cannot produce meanings, not something that you can relate with. We're losing connection with what is behind in this. I think we're living in a moment where polarization is at its best. And this is a representation of this polarization between, this is not only political, it's also between people. And so the countryside, the city, the wasteland, no, is something that is going to be more and more disconnected, and everything is going to be inside this bubble. And also, the project I'm representing, Metagoon, which is an online platform with an archive of interviews. It is a moment for me of reflection where I'm trying to figure out how to open up this project, how to see broadening, try to give it somehow air. If you need to get some information about Venice Lagoon, that was for me a way you can dive into. So I started to interview scientists, fishermen, boatmen. So each one of them was giving me like a little mosaic in order to build this atlas of the Venice Lagoon. And I have still to publish like something like 50 more interviews. But as I'm trying to get some fundings for continuing the project and renovating the web platform, I'm asking you to send me some money, please. Here below will appear the bank account. So I'm hacking your interview for personal promotion. And then with the money, maybe we just pay for the wedding of me and my girlfriend, Jeff Bezos style, in the lagoon. That's the. I was an art student here in Venice in 2004. Of course, start to have like some kind of connection with the Biennale. You can't avoid this. Every time you have to work with the Biennale, you have a contract that lasts only a few months. Then you have the other workers who are like they have a normal contract, but the fee is very low compared to the cost of living. Yesterday night, I was having a talk with a friend of mine who's working now in the Biennale, and he told me that he has, after years and years of working with them, he started to have like a good amount of money as a contract, but still with being a freelance. You're working with us for 6 months. This is a toxic way of dealing with a city, and you know that the city is just building itself on this kind of economy where everything is kind of ephemeral, and you, as a worker, you can't have a chance to work in the city with a rent that you can afford, let's say. Either you cut the number of workers, but those you keep have a good contract, and you try to find out a way of structuring this work, let's say, ecosystem in a way that is not damaging the city. As you are one of the main institution that dealing with the cultural work in the city, you should be responsible for that. Having said that, I have to say that Biennale is a almost utopistic idea of having the whole world represented in a city and putting everyone together. I think it's very nice, and it's very, yes, it's kind of utopistic somehow. Maybe I'm too communist to see it because at the end of the day, I just think about the workers, maybe they just need to keep all the pieces together. And so that is the best that they can do. I'm also trying to stand on the other side. I totally support the fact that the European Commission was cutting the funding because rather than having the Russia Commission, you can have a dissident Russian artist in the Venice Biennale rather than having the big fishes, So that is okay. But also, as you are the European Commission, you cut funding for the Biennale. Why don't you also act in a way you ask Biennale to deal with workers in a fucking right way? Sorry. So that is also another great, for me, paradox, you see, that we see. So that's it. I stop myself because otherwise I will go off for hours. What is happening with the Fenice is very interesting, I think. It's a moment where you see that little by little the political system that was supposed to be dominant is kind of struggling, right? I mean, this movement from the Fenice, where the position of the orchestra director was going to be imposed by the political system.
Nel nostro percorso, qualche imprevisto può capitare. Ma la volontà di raggiungere i tuoi obiettivi lo può trasformare in un momento di successo.
And then this movement of the labor, let's say, because it was those who work in the theater that were pushing for her, how do you say? Sorry, cut. How do you say when someone is not going to be confirmed at work? Not dismantling, but
in un momento di successo. Io lo chiamo il mio lato bioscalin.
Tira fuori anche tu il tuo lato bioscalin.
Passengers may claim their baggage.
Some positive signals of changing, and I really hope that is a moment where is a momentum that we need to get and to take as an advantage. Also in this dark time, let's say. I want to recommend you 5 top restaurants. So let me count them. The first one is just down my apartment, and which is Osteria Giorgione Damasa, which is a Japanese Venice fusion. Very interesting. I really love it. Then another one is on the opposite. There is a super local place which is called Marisa, and it's just doing Venetian stuff. It's a very small place, but it's lovely, close to Tre Archi Bridge. And it's also a cheap place. And we have 2. Then the third is, if you want to have like a oriental experience, something like that is not really Venice, there's the Frares, which is right in front of the Frari Church. You have good food, and also that comes with a reasonable price. And the fourth one is a little place always near my place, which is I Promessi Sposi. Typical Venetian kitchen, reasonable price for comrades, lovely. And the fifth one, okay, Pizzeria L'Anfora. You have to go. It's a nice place. Feels like being in a 80s Italian pizzeria, like a bar sport. It's close to Campo San Giacomo, so this is perfect.